WTA Rankings Year-End Update. Sabalenka finishes on top. Swiatek and Gauff closely follow as Rybakina moves up after WTA Finals triumph. Once more, it is Aryna Sabalenka, Iga Swiatek and Coco Gauff at the summit of women's tennis. Sabalenka will sit top of the tree for a second consecutive year. Numerous big final defeats, including 2 Grand Slam finals and the most recent WTA Finals defeat to Elena Rybakina, have cost her from making more progress. However, this consistency at the top has seen her secure the number 1 slot after one point feeling her rivals breathe down the back of her neck. This could have changed at the US Open, but Sabalenka triumphed over her on-court challengers. Swiatek has endured an up and down season. Titles at Wimbledon and Cincinnati have put a positive twist on what was a slow start to the year, which saw her drop down to 8th in the world at one point. Gauff has also endured her struggles. A scintillating clay swing which culminated with the Roland Garros title set her up for a blockbuster end to the year. This would not be the case. Struggles with her serve led to many tussles on the court, with early exits blinding her grass and North American hardcourt swing. A title in the China Open was entwined with her getting back to her best, but she was unable to find this in the WTA Finals. She and Swiatek both failed to progress out of the group phase, abruptly ending their high and low campaigns. Huge rise for Anisimova. Rybakina sends warning sign for 2026. Very few people would have predicted the rise Amanda Anisimova would have enjoyed this year. At the start of the year, she was not even seeded for Grand Slam events. She now goes into them as one of the strong favorites. 2 Grand Slam finals, 2 WTA 1000 titles and a WTA Finals semifinal to cap the year off showcases the leaps and bounds the American has made this year. The same could be said for Rybakina, although she left it very late before making her mark. A stodgy season left her not even in a qualifying place for the WTA Finals. Nevertheless, a late surge in the Asian swing accumulated her enough points to sneak into the event. From then, she was unbeatable. The Kazakh added 1,500 points to her ranking as she finishes the year 5th in the world. A brace of Americans follow her in the form of Jessica Pegula and Madison Keys. Pegula was the loser in this late Rybakina purple patch, moving down a place while Keys never found her best tennis after a romantic Australian Open run. It is remarkably tight between Keys, Jasmine Paolini in 8th and Mira Andreeva in 9th, with just 16 ranking points splitting them. Paolini's late-season success saw her confirm another top 10 finish. For Andreeva, it could have been much different. A brace of WTA 1000 titles pushed her high up the rankings. Unfortunately, she ran out of steam at the end of the campaign and climaxes in 9th. Completing the top 10 is Ekaterina Alexandrova. After only just making her top 10 debut, the Russian has managed to keep her place amongst the coveted top players. Young stars shine as Osaka enjoys resurgence. Belinda Bencic in 11th is closely followed by 2 breakout stars Clara Tauson and Linda Noskova. The pair of highly talented youngsters have played some sublime tennis this year, seeing them mix it with the best. Alina Svitolina has managed to rise back up into 14th, while Emma Navarro has dropped out of the top 10 a year from sitting inside it, culminating in 15th. While that may be slightly disappointing, 16th for Naomi Osaka is a sign that she is closing in on her best tennis once more. A Canadian Open final defeat closely followed by a semi-final at the US Open reveals the old Osaka is closer than ever. A French Open quarterfinal has seen Ludmila Samsonova rise to 17th, just ahead of Victoria Mboko. The 19-year-old started the year outside the top 300 but after triumphing in Montreal was seeded for the US Open in an extraordinary rise. Karolina Muchova and Elise Mertens wrap up the top 20. Huge rises and demises. 2024 Wimbledon champion Barbara Krejcikova is the big loser in 2025. Injuries plagued her first 6 months ahead of failing to defend a sizable chunk of her points at SW19. She plummeted down the rankings, sits in 65th. However, success in an upcoming WTA 125 event could see her climb back into the top 60. Daria Kasatkina has also suffered greatly. As well as the Czech star, they both finished 2024 inside the top 10. lack of form portrayed by the Aussie on court has seen her slip down to 37th in the world. The pair are also joined by Zheng Qinwen. The Chinese athlete picked up an elbow injury ahead of Wimbledon. Since then, she has missed a sizable amount of tennis, with a return to the court proving to be short-lived. She finished in 24th, one place ahead of Paula Badosa in 25th, who has also had her struggles off court. As for risers, Emma Raducanu has made a triumphant return to the top 32, ending in 29th and heavily poised to be a seed for the Australian Open. This could also be the case for Maya Joint in her home event. She has risen outside the top 100 to 32nd with 2 titles on the WTA circuit helping dearly. 17-year-old Iva Jovic is the youngest player inside the top 100. She ends the year in 35th, while a French Open semi-final for Lois Boisson in her maiden Grand Slam event leaves her in 36th. Alexandra Ila completes the top 50 after enjoying a breakout year. She has made history for her country in the process, becoming the first tennis player from the Philippines to rank in the top 100, let alone top 50. The final page of the 2025 WTA season turned not with a whisper, but with a thunderous rustle, one filled with fireworks, astonishment, and the metallic shine of trophies raised beneath the Riyadh night sky. When the rankings finally settled and the dust breathed its last swirl above the season's final court, the story of 4 women gleamed brighter than the rest: Sabalenka, Swiatek, Gauff, and Rybakina. And just behind them, a universe of challengers waited, hungry and sharp, but the spotlight belonged to these giants. Sabalenka, the queen of reckless power and precision. Aryna Sabalenka didn't just finish the year at number 1, she claimed it. She sculpted the ranking throne with her own hands, carved from sweat and unimaginable intensity that echoed through every stadium she set foot in. Her season wasn't flawless, no champion's ever is, but it was unmistakably hers. She built her empire with booming serves, lion-hearted comebacks, and fearless aggression that refused to yield under pressure. Her early season triumphs gave her momentum, her mid-season dominance cemented her status, and by the time she entered the WTA Finals in Riyadh, she had already stacked enough points to ensure that she would leave the year with the crown still firmly in her grasp. Even her losses were spectacular, epic battles that left audiences breathless. The numbers simply confirmed what everyone watched unfold match after match. In 2025, Sabalenka was not merely the top player. She was the force, the weather system, the earthquake. Swiatek, the perfectionist who kept the chase alive. Iga Swiatek finished the season breathing down Sabalenka's neck, a mathematical threat until the final match, a strategic genius who converted clay mastery into all-surface brilliance.